This is becoming one of my favorite root beers here in Vancouver. Cheers, buddy! Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm here to talk about Vancouver. Vancouver has a lot of problems. Many years ago, I made a video about this topic while I was in Korea. That video still resonates to today. I can see how bad it's gotten here, and it's just getting worse and worse. And I just want to point out the problems and some possible solutions, so this video won't be all negative and complaining or whiny all that. No, we're all about fixing things on this channel. I really can't stand living here, okay? The only reason I'm here is because of family. If I didn't have family here that wasn't brainwashed to being stuck on this continent that we call North America, I wouldn't be here. I would be somewhere probably in Eastern Europe or Asia by now. Every time I'm overseas and come back here, I spend months or years abroad. I notice the change, I notice the shift every time I come back. If you've lived in Vancouver your entire life, you've never lived in any other country, you won't notice the difference, but I do, every time. And it's kind of like, you know, that frog in that pot of boiling water. The frog doesn't know that the water is getting hotter and hotter every year, to the point where the frog is going to eventually die. Because Vancouver has a lot of problems. And if you don't believe me, I want you to try to check out the Vancouver Reddit. You will see how awful, how bad it's gotten. Like, just story after story. You'll see what I mean, alright? You scroll through there, you think it's just like, what a nightmare it is to live here. The media wants to paint a different picture for you guys. I don't know why, but they keep selling Vancouver to people who've never lived here their entire lives. And I think part of the reason is they want to make a profit off of you, especially immigrants, especially ESL students, especially foreigners that are looking to settle in a new country. They always sell Vancouver to them because I think most of these people who are trying to promote this place are based off commission, especially ESL agents. I know that for sure, because when I worked here as an ESL teacher here in Vancouver, I knew that these agents that were like from Brazil or Korea or China, they were all based on commission. So the more students they brought in to Vancouver, the more money they can make. But I also understand the fact that a lot of people, they want to escape their country and they want a better life. Good for you, power to you. But I'm talking about Vancouver from a local's perspective. You know, I lived and grew up here my entire life, and I see what's happening. And it's gotten to the point where I really have no reason to be here. There are no pros for me based on all the list of cons that I'm going to mention. But I'll list the pros for you. Okay, the air is great. Okay, air is clean, no problem. You can breathe it. You can open your window. All right. If you come from a polluted country like, for example, Thailand, you know what I'm talking about. Nature, always great here. Okay, mountains, lakes, rivers, oceans, beaches, they're all great, okay? Nature, if you're a nature lover, which I am not, then Vancouver's a good place for you. If you want to go hiking, you want to go skiing, you want to go mountain climbing, you want to go biking, you want to run outside, not worry about the air that you're breathing in. Okay, yeah, you're a nature outdoorsy person, I get it. You like fishing, boating, well, all that stuff. Good for you. Vancouver's great for you. Another pro is that Vancouver people are polite. They're not friendly, they are polite. Okay, there's a big difference between polite and friendly. Okay, polite means Vancouver people know how to line up. Okay, I don't know about you, but I find it stressful lining up in any Asian country because people cut the line, they bump me from behind, they have just no spatial awareness, orientation, or they just don't give a shit about you if they don't know you. But in Vancouver, everybody respects the personal space, they keep their distance, they know how to line up, they know how to say please and thank you and smile when they get their meal or whatever, okay? Those are all the pros I can think of off the top of my head. So that's it. Now, let's talk about the problems, okay? Let's get to the meat. The biggest problem, homeless people. God damn it, there's just homeless people everywhere in Vancouver. Downtown is infested with homeless people. There are more homeless people than regular people, in my opinion, when I go to downtown. It's like a freak show every time I go there. The homeless people consist of mentally ill people as well. So people who are schizophrenics, people who are shouting out in public, people who are just walking crazy or just acting strange. There's a lot of freaks in downtown Vancouver. There's a lot of thieves. There's a lot of drug addicts. There's just a lot of crazy people. Yeah, like 1 out of 5 people fit this category, in my opinion. Who makes up the rest? Well, you would think it'd be locals, but no, it's not. Vancouver has more foreigners than locals now. It's just run by foreigners and immigrants and tourists. There's tourists as well you gotta deal with. So I would say 1 out of every 5 people that you see on the street is a local in Vancouver, person that has grown up here their entire life. 4 out of 5 people don't know how things work here. They don't speak the language. They don't adapt to the culture. They don't adapt to the rules or the society or whatever. And you can see this causes a lot of problems, a lot of tension, a lot of stress. Anxiety just shoots up through the roof because people are very sensitive. There's a very large leftist culture here, and people get offended, and social justice warriors and feminists, and yeah, you gotta watch what you say. You gotta be politically correct. And on top of that, there are people like I said, all these other groups of people that are not from here, you gotta deal with on a daily basis. And you'll notice, you'll hear it a lot. You'll hear this a lot. There are so many cliques here in Vancouver. So this is really frustrating for me. And you'll hear this a lot. It's very hard to make friends in Vancouver. It is. Because these people are glued to their cliques. These people are glued to their smartphones. These people are glued to showing off and trying to impress strangers. Just all these foreigners, all these homeless people, all these crazy people who are not local. They're taking over this place. I can see it. Every time I come back, I notice the change. I notice that more Chinese businesses and more restaurants that are catered to Chinese customers only are popping up. There's just these little villages, like groups. Koreatown, Chinatown, hipster town, homeless town, like yuppie town, tourist town, you know what I mean? Like these little towns I notice everywhere. Vancouver, Canada, no, there's no bond. It's just all these mixed up people trying to get along, just trying to be polite. But at the end of the day, they all hate each other. If you don't believe me, just try to spend a day on the SkyTrain here. You see people shouting at each other, being rude to each other. You know, people try to be polite. But like I said, Vancouver people are not friendly. Friendly is just being genuinely like interested in other people. Is what I'd say is friendly is. You know, like learning from others, curious about how another person is, looking out for each other. I don't feel that here in Vancouver. Everyone is selfie culture, Instagram culture, me, show off. Look how pretentious I am in this Lamborghini that I bought with my daddy's money. So we don't have not just a problem with foreigners here. We have a problem with the mentality here. You know, we have no common ground. Third problem is just the job situation. You cannot, the economy here. I mean, there are no companies. There are no big jobs here in Vancouver. Seattle, which is our neighboring state down on the border, on the US border, they have Amazon, they have Microsoft, they have Boeing. They've got all this infrastructure. They got all these companies that people can build a community around. Vancouver has no companies. What does Vancouver have? TELUS Mobility, Bell Canada. Those are shitty companies, all right? I've seen people work there. I've heard stories. It's just garbage. All you see are all these shit jobs and all these restaurant jobs that all the locals don't want to work at. And who are the ones that are picking up these shifts? The immigrants. The immigrants that are fresh off the boat and they show up and they have nothing to lose. So they do these shit jobs. Just a lot of young people are just leaving Vancouver. There's no point. Because you factor in the cost of living is so expensive. Insanely expensive. There are no jobs that can balance these things out. Not enough affordable housing. Do you see the imbalance? If Vancouver was a boat, the boat has already capsized. I've seen this already. I saw this a long time ago, and it's gotten worse. It's gotten to the point where the boat has capsized, and it's on its way down to the bottom of the ocean. It's just, you can barely see the remains of the boat floating on top of the water. Every time I'm here, I want to go back on a plane and get the hell out of here. Because there's really nothing I see around me that is getting better. or there's no reason for me to be here. You know, because when there's no jobs, not enough affordable housing, not enough friendly people or people that you can connect with, what's the point? What's the glue that keeps you here, except for family? So, how do we solve these big problems here? You can see it's really hard to solve in one go. First thing off the top of my head is to make immigration rules or laws a lot stricter, a lot like Thailand. Make everybody who's not Canadian have to endure a 30-day tourist visa. Make it strict. You gotta fly in and back out every 30 days. Okay, we don't want you living here. We want you to be visiting as a tourist. That's cool, that's okay. But we don't want you living here and buying up all our real estate and buying up all our houses so we can't afford it, taking all our jobs. Okay, we want you out of our country as soon as possible, just like Thailand does. Thailand's smart with that case. We have enough foreigners. Okay, we're full. We are over capacity in my opinion. So let's turn the tide. Let's allow the locals to come back. Okay, the first thing you gotta do is push all the foreigners out. We gotta make the immigration laws more tougher. So how do we make them tougher? Well, first of all, you gotta learn English. Okay, I don't care who you are as a foreigner, you gotta learn English here. If you're gonna live in Canada, you can't be speaking Korean. There are tons of Koreans that live here thanks to their daddy's money, you know, working at Samsung back home in Korea. And what are they doing? I see them hanging out everywhere with their Korean friends, eating Korean food, doing Korean things, speaking Korean in Canada. You gotta speak English. Native English. Native English, okay? There are no exceptions. We can't allow anything lower than a native English speaker here, in my opinion. So if you set that bar really high, then a lot of foreigners will drop instantly. You're gonna have to take an exam where you have to prove that you can speak native English. And I don't care how long it takes you to learn it, you're gonna have to do it if you really wanna live here. Second is you've got to contribute to this country or this city in your own way possible. And whether it's money or business, you gotta do something, okay? You can't just take our jobs or just leech off the government or just take what the locals are fighting for. And that's what Thailand does. Again, if you really wanna be a Thai citizen, you have to have a business or you have to give the government a lot of money. Why doesn't Vancouver do that? The locals, they need affordable housing, okay? So I would say that any house that is not occupied for 3 months, like you see with these foreigners invested here in Vancouver, mansions, condos, whatever, they gotta instantly go, give up their contract, give up their property. The locals are desperate for housing. Okay, they're seriously. I see tons of people just sharing, like a tiny cramped condo, like six people occupying. One in the living room, one in the sofa, one in the bedroom, one, you know what I mean? Like, it's really bad. Like, I see like ads on Craigslist for people like renting out their tool shed in the backyard. Get rid of all these ghost houses, okay? Make it strict for foreigners to own them. If they don't occupy within 3 months, they gotta give it up. Give it to the locals, okay? Subsidized housing. You have to have a reason for the locals to stay. And the first reason for them to stay is to have affordable housing. And then they can start looking for jobs. How do they look for jobs? Okay, going back to the foreigners, right? The foreigners, they bring the business here, whatever that they are, to this city. Okay, we need more entrepreneurs. There's just so many people still stuck in that job mentality. I need a job, I need a job, I need a job, I need to work for somebody. You gotta get rid of that mentality. If you don't know how, just stick around, okay? Stick with this channel, I'll show you how to make money online. Blindly going into college or university and they're racking up like 200, 300K worth of debt. And that's just a bad start of life because there are no jobs and they're screwed. Paying this interest for many years by working shit jobs overseas. So ironic. Working in ESL jobs in Korea or China, wherever you go around the world, you see these foreigners from Canada specifically that are teaching English. If you want to be an ESL teacher stuck with tons of debt, yeah, go to college. Go to university here in Vancouver. Go for it. All right? Be another sucker. How do we deal with the homeless people? Well, first of all, the ones that are mentally ill need to be hospitalized. We got to reinstate these hospitals that we closed down. Okay, that's for sure. Homeless people, we got to give them jobs. Okay? give them jobs, train them, teach them, re-educate them, okay? They're just lounging around waiting for something to do. Might as well teach them something that's more positive, more productive. It can be as little as just collecting cans around the street or picking up litter. It's an incentive to make money and get off the street and into subsidized housing. So do you see this plan that I'm making? Does it start to make sense? If it doesn't, then just rewatch this video or just give it some time or just go live abroad for many years and come back and you'll know what I'm talking about. These problems aren't going to go away. They need to be solved now. And the only way to do it is to make tough decisions. And you need somebody who has the balls to step in front and say, hey, we have a problem. Here are some solutions to help solve this problem. We got to do it now. We got to take action. The easiest solution for anybody seeing this would be to just leave. You know, I can just get on a plane, get the hell out of here and not come back. And that would be the easiest solution for me. But I really care about this place. You know, I grew up here. I lived here my whole life. And I would like to see Vancouver succeed. Let me know your thoughts down below, how to solve this problem if you are from Vancouver, or the problems that you have in your own country, and what you think you can do to help solve them. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this video, hit the bell, bing! And I'll talk to you in the next video, okay? Take care, love you, bye-bye!